All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Nightcap Knowledge. DJ George Chuck is out doing what he do, trying to get to where the money resides. So I'm holding it down tonight. Nightcap Knowledge, as always, known as a show that is brought to you talking about real talk, real issues, real solutions. This show is black and uncensored. That means we're going to talk about real issues in our community. We are more focused on resolve the conversation. And we're going to try to stay as much in the politically correct zone as possible. But our main focus is getting the information out to our people. So tonight, as you can see, that is not Chuck. That is our credit coach, Miss Michelle Way. She's going to do a deep dive. We're going to talk about the topic for tonight is, what is the topic for tonight? Mind on my money. So we need to have our mind on our money. That's the topic. As we celebrate Black August, we focus on Black businesses. We're just coming off the weekend from the Black Business Expo. And a lot of folks find it very hard to start a business, especially people that start a business, what we say, out of your your shirt pocket or out of your front pocket. It's very hard to sustain. So the topic for mental health minute for yesterday was perseverance. Do not give up. Do not give up. Also understand the difference. If something is not working and you feel like you're not making any headway, then you try to find a different way to go. But do not give up. If that's your passion, you feel that's your calling, stay strong, seek counsel, do your research, evaluate yourself, do whatever you have to do, but don't give up on your dream, on whatever it may be. And if you have a hobby and this hobby is able to generate income, then that could easily become a business. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your people. Just continue to see things for know what they are and know who they are and know how to deal with the situation and deal with the people. But don't give up on what you're doing. Stay strong. Perseverance is the topic. And that was always starting a Monday off with a positive mindset and positive energy, because that's real. It's really, really real. We coming up with a big health fair for October 2nd and 3rd, Mississippi Move and different partners. And we're going to talk about healing the whole person. And that's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. But spiritual, we're talking about that energy. That's a real, real, real thing. And for those who don't believe it, do your research, check it, understanding that you can feel the negative energy in a lot of people. And a lot of times we have a lot of self hate that manifests in us. And that's why we don't get along well with others or we have issues with others. But so stay strong, persevere. We're going to keep going and we're going to stick to what we know. And tonight, we're going to talk about having your mind on your money, having your mind on your money. And if we add to it, minding your own black business and focusing on how you could be able to become well well off or in a good position, and spend less time worrying about others. And you let them inspire you. Let them be an inspiration for you to be able to achieve great heights. But we want you to be able to know that you got to have your mind on your money. All right. So Michelle stepped away for 1 second. She's going to come back and we're going to bring our guests. Now, we talked about two topics tonight. We're talking about mind on our money. We're going to introduce a workshop that we're doing later on this Sunday. And it's going to be talking about, I think, all you don't know about money, pretty much. That's going to be something Michelle's going to dive into. But we have a brother that had a first time experience. We had the big Mississippi Black Business Expo this past Saturday at the convention center. And we're going to bring this brother on and he's going to talk about his experience. Sabir recommended him. He said, he really enjoyed himself. And we're going to bring this brother and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and about his experience at the Black Business Expo. Mr. Johnson, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. How's it going?
Good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Cool.
So
cool.
I heard that you got a chance to experience something different. And I've been around to see the growth of this event. And I'm quite sure whatever the numbers were, it would have been a lot more if it wasn't for the pandemic right now. But what was your experience like? First of all, tell everybody who you are, and then tell them about this Saturday. What was your experience?
Oh, my name is Kivas John. I am owner of Johnson and Security Solutions. where we specialize in firearms training and armed security services. Um, and so this Saturday, I was proud to say the least. This was my first time actually attending any type of like expo like this. Besides, like I attend like deer expos and stuff like that. That's
Right.
more focused on other things, not just business. But it was I was proud to be like meeting people who had small businesses from the same city from where I'm from, that look like me, that share the same struggles, but I continue to push through that, and not letting the red tape be a barrier for them and for their growth. I was inspired by the so many Black authors we have coming from Mississippi. We're known for
Yes,
having
sir.
great authors. Man, there was just a plethora of authors there, and I was just like, wow, man, y'all are really like out here doing it. Like, really got books on Amazon and stuff. Like that was just awesome to me.
Yes, sir.
Candle makers, watchmakers, like, man, y'all from Jackson, y'all making watches? How y'all get into that? Like
Right.
it was so much, man. It was so mind blowing just to see people take their talents and monetize on their talents and on their passion. And that's something that, like, once I started my business, that I just embrace, and I love to see other people embracing their own talent and passion and monetizing it, and us supporting each other and just showing that we are just versatile like that. We can do anything, and still put out the quality candles, the quality watches, the quality service, just like the big brands that everyone may know around the world.
Man, I definitely appreciate your feedback and letting folks know that we have, despite what we see a lot of times on mainstream media, that we have a lot of talented people and a lot of good things going on in Mississippi, and a lot of good things going on in Jackson. It's going to be on us to make sure that we do our part to spread the good news, as they say, right? So we got to
Right,
spread the good news the same way folks spread the negative news, or when something bad happens, it's our job to highlight and the same way we complain about stuff from businesses, to say, hey man, they did a great job. Hey man, they was on time. They did this. They did great service. We got to do this. Put the same energy behind positive things as we do negative things, right? And I talk
right,
about the manifestation of self hate and how negative energy is. And so we need to do the same thing with positive energy. Them brothers and sisters that work hard to get their craft and turn that business, they need to hear that, man. Somebody appreciate them showing up, and like yourself, appreciate them having a quality Black owned business.
right, right.
And we need to support. We need to support. Now,
Most
brother,
definitely.
you have a business. Now, when you
Mhm.
get a chance, I want you to drop your information in the contact, because we gotta understand how the black ecosystem work. So in whatever business you have, a lot of times I gotta say, well, that brother got a successful business. If he needs shirts, I need to make him shirts. If I know how to repack bullets, I need to do something. You know what I'm saying? We can
Mhm.
work together in our ecosystem. But you
Right.
you have a business, so let people know about your business and what you got going on.
So again, I teach firearms classes or firearms training.
Hmm.
Been doing it now for the past 3 years, helping people get their enhanced carry permit, helping people become acclimated and knowledgeable on gun safety. Not only that, knowing your rights as carrying a firearm, why you
Right,
should carry a firearm, why everyone should have the knowledge of firearms, even if you don't believe in carrying one, which is a personal choice. And just pushing that education of firearms so that we're not living in fear of, how firearms have negatively affected our community.
right,
Knowing that if we put the education out there along with other aspects and elements. But if we put the education out there about firearms, I think we could do some curbing of some of the violent crimes that go on in our neighborhood. Because not only do I teach firearms training, but I also push, de-escalating situations, not putting yourself in situations where you have to use your firearm. Trying to be that bigger person, checking your ego is one thing
yes,
I
sir.
preach heavily on when carrying a firearm. You check your ego. If you can't check your ego, you don't need a gun. You're not responsible enough to have a gun. You have to be grown enough and be man enough to check your ego in situations where you won't make a mistake and take somebody's life or look for an opportunity to take a life of someone else. And then I also offer armed guard services for people who may be throwing some type of event and things of that nature, and they're required to have a security guard. I do offer those services also.
Okay. Well, look, man, when
Mhm.
you said a mouthful, my great uncle was 86, and he always talked about, and he said his belief is children that grow up being taught responsibility about firearms and whatever it may be have a different level of respect for it. A lot of what you see now, they were introduced to through mainstream media, music, and some
Mhm.
people say video game, whatever the case may be, or a negative adult, a immature
Mhm.
adult, but they did not learn the responsibility and what to do and how to carry it, and the respect factor behind it, and valuing themselves and others.
Right.
And like you say, now from what we heard from younger guys in the street, when we do other shows, um, that's their extension of their manhood,
Yeah.
right? That firearm, that the biggest
Mhm.
gun with the Drago, they don't even have the right firearm for the right situation. They just
Right.
know they got a
Exactly.
big gun, and they trying to
Mhm.
hit somebody that's 10 feet in front of them. Then they got a AR-15 with a 50 round clip, and a 50 round magazine. So it's just they are trying to live a facade in which they think, and that's the identity of their manhood. Is the first thing they're gonna do is pull a firearm, and then I would say what you don't say. They folks scared to take an ass whooping these days. Ain't no fight. Ain't no
Right.
throwing no hands. Ain't no putting no ice on it and healing. They
Right.
scared of that. They're scared of that. The first thing they're
Mhm.
gonna do is try to pull. But it's very important, like you say, is to teach the classes, for adults and their parents to be involved, because
Mhm.
there's somebody out there that's going. You don't, if you're in a negative situation with your children or family, you want to be able to protect them, and you also want to educate your children properly to
Right.
understand that this is a last result. No matter what you see on TV
Mhm.
or anything else, this is the last result when you pull that firearm.
Yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
appreciate you, brother, coming on. If you can, drop your information in the message. Let everybody know
Okay.
how they can get in contact with you,
Okay.
and how they can find you on Facebook. Tell everybody where they can find you on Facebook, Instagram, wherever website, and then also put it in the text, and so people can find you.
All right. We'll do. Appreciate you.
All right, yes, sir.
All right.
All right. So Michelle, we are getting ready to get into everything that we got going on. We have, if I can get everything, we have a big event coming up this Sunday. It's going to be virtual. We've been doing the financial literacy workshops, the 444. We've been doing the health and wealth. We've been doing so many different uh, economic empowerment education workshops and trainings and things of that nature. So we're coming up with another one, and that's this Sunday. And as Michelle is always on top of everything. She always know what's happening, what's not happening. She always know what's new that's coming down the pipeline. So we're going to talk about why she's on tonight. It's the topic of the show is having my mind on my money. That's where our mind need to be right now. And then the workshop we're doing this Sunday is called Everything You Didn't Know or Don't Know About Money. So everything you don't know about money is going to be the workshop this Sunday. Tonight we are talking about mind on my money. So Miss Michelle, how are you? You can come off mute now. Take off mute, Michelle. Take yourself off mute.
Talking to what?
I was just talking to
Okay,
Michelle.
how y'all
Take
doing
yourself off
tonight?
mute.
I'm mute. I mean, good grief.
Yeah.
So, Mac wanted me to speak tonight, y'all. I really thought about what to talk about tonight, and I'm going to talk about things that's happening in the market right now, and also with credit. Right?
Right.
There is a whole new system. And things that worked 6 months ago, like Max said, things are steady changing. Things that worked 2 years ago, things are steady changing. Things that worked last week don't work anymore. So tonight, what I'm going to tell you is just a little bit kind of a prelude of what we'll be discussing on Sunday. I'll go deep into it Sunday, but
Well, Hold on 1 second, Michelle. Now I
Mhm.
know we got a couple folks watching. All right,
Mhm.
right now Michelle's about to talk about how you create legacies. Right, we're talking about education. Knowledge is power,
Mhm.
and Michelle always uses this quote: "Our people perish for a lack of knowledge." We're going to talk
Mhm.
about economic power. I need everyone that's watching to share this with some friend, tag somebody. I need you to hit about 10 people. I need you to make sure, let me know if you're in the comments, if you're listening. If you hear something that speaks out to you, I need you to say something. But right now, I need everybody to start sharing this. I'm about to share it myself. Share the links, share the information, let folks know they need to be tuning in right now because this information is very, very important. And it's one of the main reasons that our people are always trying to fight to get to another level because we do not have a good understanding about certain things about economic and about how to take advantage of a lot of different situations out there. So we want to make sure that everybody that's paying attention, that's on this show, that's watching this show right now, that you go ahead and share this with a friend, inbox it to them, whatever you got to do. Make sure they know what's happening and that they can tune in, especially if you know they are having money problems, if they're struggling, if they have some issues with their credit or whatever. They need to be watching this show tonight, and they probably definitely need to have a seat in the workshop for this Sunday. Michelle, let them have it.
Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is when we talk about money on our mind, everybody, doesn't matter who you are, a billionaire, a dollaire, everybody go through difficult times. And there are times when we all need to get some money, right?
Right,
But we
right,
get a difficult time. We go to the bank. They don't want to give us anything. We go to these tower loans. They give us something. We pay $17 million for $2. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is the way that we go to the bank. When we as a people go to the bank, no one has ever showed us step by step how to apply for something. So when we go in with this whole credit score thing in our head because that's what we've been taught. We've been taught get a credit score, you can get approved. Wrong. That's 100% wrong, guys. We taught the wrong thing and it's costing us tons of money. Yes, they approved you for the loan, but did you look at the $15,000 card that cost you $15,000 in interest? Did you know that that $15,000 payment is the same as a C-class Mercedes because the interest rate is so high? So what I'm going to show y'all tonight is how we can get around that whole mentality of I got to have my credit score. I got to have my credit score. Mac, we got two people sitting at the table, right?
right.
Mac has an 847. 850 is perfect. Michelle got a 690. Michelle will still get approved faster than Mac.
Why?
Know why?
Mm-mm.
Because even though Mac has an 847, which is 3 points away from perfect, and Michelle's not even in the 700s with a 690, Michelle got credit cards dated back 30 some years ago and never missed a payment. Mac only had credit cards from 6 months ago. So they still gonna give it to Michelle faster. So we got to get this whole credit score thing brainwashing out of our heads and understand that the application does not say credit score. It says what, Matt?
Credit worthiness.
Thank you. So
Credit
why
worthiness.
are they teaching you credit score and not teaching what the application says, which is credit worthiness? Everybody goes on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and everyone is flashing their credit scores. But no one is flashing how it really happens, like the real true application. It doesn't say credit score, it says credit worthiness. And it does not say, ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. It says consumer reporting companies. And when you look at consumer reporting companies, you're opening yourself up to so many different things that you don't even realize can cause you to be denied.
Yes.
Michelle goes in with an 847. But do you really think they're gonna give Michelle a $500,000 loan and she got 27 addresses on her report?
No.
No.
You look
Because it seems
unstable.
like I hop around and I move a lot. Do you think they're gonna give Michelle a $500,000 loan and I got 27 phone numbers on my report?
No.
No. Do you think they're gonna give me a $500,000 loan and my address, I have an MLK address on there?
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm. Do you think they're gonna give me a $500,000 loan and I got City Girl 6 at yahoo.com. And y'all know what that is? You know what that other number is?
Right.
They're not. And so when they're looking at these consumer reports, they're not looking at just credit score. They're looking at basically reasons not to give you a loan. And it makes sense. If I were to say, look, I got an 847 and you denied me, but my coworker had a 603 and you approved him. When we get to court, guess what we're going to say? Well, yeah, we did approve him, but he had credit cards from 30 years ago and never missed a payment. So even though his scores are much lower, his credit worthiness, he didn't have 27 addresses. We were concerned about you moving all the time. He didn't have all those phone numbers. We didn't know how to really get in contact with you. And these are the things that's hurting us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we open ourselves up to consumer reports, we don't just open it up to Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Matt, can you get on the screen real quick?
No.
No.
That's a Chuck thing to pull it up. You trying to find about the credit bureaus?
I was going to show them some, but that's okay. Y'all will see that Sunday when you sign up for this class.
That's a Sunday project. They need to be ready.
That's
That's
a Sunday
all for
project.
Sunday.
Don't give them too much tonight. That's all for Sunday.
I ain't gonna give you too much.
Yeah.
That's the Sunday project. But what I will show you on Sunday is how I know someone on this live has heard someone say, I had a real high credit score, but I still got denied.
Mhm.
There's a reason for that denial. I see it all the time. I've had people call me, man, we were right before closing on the house and they turned us down.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. And people are like, well, I don't know. And all they're going to tell you at the bank or mortgage lender or whoever, you're going to get a call that's going to say, oh, well, there's something that popped up and we're not going to be able to do this loan. Well, after you've already got the appraisal money tied in, the home inspection money tied in, you already got the U-Haul ready, you got your 30-day notice placed in there. So why wouldn't they tell you what popped up and where they pop up at? The reason why they won't tell you that, because guess what? You just gave somebody an appraisal. You gave somebody a termite.
Right.
You gave someone a home inspection. I can't really say that too much because I am a licensed real estate agent. However, there is a way when you get that type of situation, you can contact that lender. And these are the things you need to say that we're not taught. You need to ask them, where did they get the information from to deny you? Do not accept, oh, something popped up at the last minute. And they're going to quote something. When we go to these Credit Karma and all of these credit repair people, and I have no shade on anyone in credit repair business, so do not take it that way. My issue is because of the things that I do when it comes to credit, I know that system doesn't work. Let me rephrase that. As long as you're looking at getting a Capital One, First Premier, Credit One Bank, Mariner, and all these other little credit cards with $1,500 limits and lower, that system does work. So you can pay someone to wipe your things off your credit and you'll get a credit card and you'll have a credit score. But Matt, tell them when you start trying to get American Express, it's your blood type. And the reason why we don't walk around with those cards is because we don't know what blood type means. And I'll go over that, how to get real credit cards. If there's 4 people sitting at a table, Chuck, Mac, Michelle, and Michelle's son, Chris. Mac pulls out American Express Platinum. I already know. He got A1 credit. He got old trade lines. He got balances low. He can do whatever he want to do. He got 24-hour concierge service. He has all types of discounts to this and discounts to that. I mean, dang, when he go to the airport, he don't even have to go through pre-check. He can just walk past everyone. So I know that about Mac. And Chuck pulls out a black card. I'm like, man, they will shut down Louis Vuitton in Las Vegas on a holiday weekend for Chuck. Okay. His hotel room at the Fight of the Century is right beside the boxers. And Michelle pulls out of Bank of America. And Chuck and Mac look at Michelle and say, I've got like a 700 and some credit score. She probably got number like a $15,000 limit. And my son Chris pulls out of Capital One. And all he's talking about is his credit score. But he can't do nothing with a $300 limit. And so what I teach you is how not to be happy with a 14, 12, or $300 credit limit with a credit score that says 800. Who cares? Because when you're stuck on side of the road, and I've been stuck on side of the road a million times in my little Mini Cooper. Tell them, Mac, my
Right,
car
right.
broke down right now in Texas, y'all. So if anybody want to give a go, help Michelle get her car at the shop fund, we can do that too. But with my car, there's no way. They only pay for 15 miles, right? I drive a car that no one works on in the state of Mississippi. With that being said, I have to have my vehicle towed. So the insurance company is only going to pay for the first 15 miles. So my car's got to go all the way to Baton Rouge, or all the way to Dallas, or all the way to Little Rock. I spend tons of dollars getting my car towed. I can't have a credit card in my wallet with a $300 limit. It's not going to cover it. So it's about leveling yourself. So you can't be like, well, I don't want credit cards with high limits like that. That's stupid. Because if you have a $300 credit card and I tow my vehicle and it costs $360, and they do not accept cash, by the way, on the side of the road. So now I got to pull out another credit card to cover that. And now my credit card is maxed out. I do this on the day of reports and I don't have time to go ahead and pay it. Now I have a card that has 100% usage on it. My credit score is going to drop for that 1 month, 80 points, just like that.
Yeah.
But if I have a credit card with a $15,000 limit and I put $360 on it, doesn't affect my credit. So, go ahead.
No. What you saying a lot of it's about self-discipline.
Yes.
So we're talking about wanting more, about knowledge, self-discipline. What we're saying, staying in your lane, and because a lot of times folks hear this, and I know this actually happened to somebody recently. They were telling they was trying to help someone else, and they told them to buy one thing, and they end up buying another, and they maxed the credit card out, and that person told me their credit score dropped 72 points.
Yes,
it dropped 72 points. And it's devastating for your score to drop. And when you're working on your credit, you see your credit move 2 points, 5 points, 10, 15, but for it to drop for one thing, 72 points, it's going to take a long time to pull out of that hole. And then the other thing I want people to understand too, people can have access to this money and credit and not look it. We've been taught wrong in multiple things. You have to look like you have a platinum and a black card and all this stuff in your wallet based on what you drive, where you live, and what you wear. But the thing about it is, how are you going to have that if you're spending all your money on looking the part? Would you rather look the part and actually have them and have a limited access to credit and funds, or just be yourself and be able to reach back and get that car? And then one of your friends, Trina B, just said preach. And as I call her, Dr. Hemp, which is Miss Delaney, she just said, hey, she's in the comments listening to you, Michelle. But yeah. So I just wanted to tell you about that. But yeah, I'm with that. And then you got a Coretta Frazier that's throwing the hands up. So
Coretta won't? What Coretta won't? Let Coretta talk. Coretta, you can talk anytime. What she got to ask?
She just throwing her hands up. She praising. Go ahead. Finish.
So,
and let everybody know. So go ahead.
So let me tell y'all, and I promise you, it is so many things that are out there that's against you that you have no idea. Right. Down to employment, down to, it would blow your mind if you really understood the things they use. I asked Mac, you be a banker. Mm-hmm. Would you give me $100,000 loan if you saw where I had a major health issue that was terminal illness?
No.
When you open yourself up to all of these people and you sign on this document thinking they're pulling Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, it's not like that. It's totally not like that. When you open yourself up, you open yourself up to everything. You open yourself up to be denied because you take psychosis medicine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I I don't think we want to do this loan. And they can't, and they won't tell you that. They'll use 5 million reports to find something that's not even you. I'm talking about, I see stuff. I had a man that had a C-section. He had a name that could be like a female name, right?
Right.
And because he had a name that could be like a female name,
Yeah.
you could have Terry, Terry,
Right.
or you can have Terry, Teri. And so apparently, whatever it was, but it wasn't even in the state, this woman had a cesarean section. He came to my office, mad as all get out. What is a cesarean section? I said, it's when a woman has a baby. Why? It's on my report. Huh?
Yeah.
Guys, even when it comes down to insurance, getting life insurance, car insurance, they pull these things that you don't know about. And your policy could be higher. They could deny you for insurance. There's so many different things that happens that you have no idea. I promise
Right.
you have no idea. But when it comes to verifying even your income, I've seen people that have a very big title, Mac, right? He is the director of da 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 da. But when they look at something to verify it, it still has Wendy's, a place where he worked at when he was 16 years old. Do
Yeah.
you really think, huh?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Right. I know this to be true. I've done all this.
Yeah. Yes, you know it. But when you try to explain to people, so we're talking about having things, like you said, Mac, I'd rather go in there, get me some vegetables. Like I've been eating out of the air fryer lately, right?
Right.
I've been the queen of an air fryer. Everything air fried, air fried, air fried. I eat half the meal today and half the meal for breakfast because I have to make some changes because there's about to be a change. I got to use that word because I am a licensed real estate agent. There's about to be a change in everything. Okay. And
Right.
when that happens, the people have a hard time keeping up with things, right?
Right.
If anyone on this feed has not paid mortgages and they did the thing with the, CARES Act,
Right.
write this down. I'm going to say it real slow. I'm going to say it a couple times. Contact whoever you have your mortgage with. Go ahead and contact them right now and say tomorrow morning, hey, I want to get a loss mitigation, MITIGATION specialist. And the reason why you want to go ahead and get your loss mitigation specialist assigned to you right now, because if you wait until October the 4th, that CARES Act is going to expire October the 3rd. They're going to start sending out them love letters October the 4th at 8 o'clock in the morning. And a person who's had $1,000, what you got, Mac?
No. I want to tell everybody that's listening, look, send this information. Just because this information don't apply to you, you might say, well, I don't have those problems. I'm fine. Send it out like it's the biggest event in the of the year, like you're going to win something free. Because this information is life changing. I'm telling you, I wear many hats. We are constantly helping people and assisting people. And I'm telling you, it's been time and time folks could call back and reach out to us and wish they had made those moves. Things are happening. We need you to share this information with folks right now. They need to be listening to this stuff. This can help save someone's home. So we need you to pay attention to this.
Because if you go ahead right now and contact your loss mitigation specialist, right now no one's contacting them. So you have a time right now that you can say, hey, I know I received stimulus, but by the time I received it, I owed everybody. I know I received a refund check. By the time I received it, I wasn't working due to whatever. You have time to do that. But when that loss mitigation specialist has about a 10,000 case load, it's, looking at this person, they're going to pull a report on you. Mm-hmm. Because when you go through loss mitigation, they don't pull Equifax TransUnion Experian. They pull something totally 100% different. And if they see where you went to the casino a whole bunch in July of 2021, but you couldn't pay mortgage, file denied, going to foreclosure.
Okay. Let me drop this too. That Michelle didn't. That when she said about casino,
Mhm.
there is a reporting company
Yeah.
that can tell. It holds all your information every time you went to the casino, and all of us have done it. You go to that little kiosk and you sign up for a VIP card so you can get those $5 in extra play.
Yep.
And every time you use that card, and you pole mapping out here, I ain't got no money, but you won $10,000 in February by using that card, and they gave you free buffet and a free room, and you just feel really good. Well, guess what? That information is being held in one of the reporting companies.
Mhm.
So when you say, "Well, I don't have any income, I couldn't pay that note," well, then they're gonna pull up from one of those holding companies and say, "Well, it says here that you won $10,000 at Ameristar 4th of July weekend," and then you were looking like, "Who?" And that's what we say. Them people, them folk done told them people that I don't want that money. No, you told yourself.
You told it yourself.
You told
Let
it
me tell
yourself.
you, recently I had a client, 18-year-old child was getting ready to graduate. The child was up for a scholarship, y'all. And she called me. She was like, I know you had told me something, about making sure everything was good. When we pulled it, I seen where the college had looked at his gambling. His buddies and friends, who he thought was his friends, when he turned 18, decided to take him to the casino and he didn't have any money. So they told him to get a VIP preferred card, which he did. So every day they took him to the casino and they didn't put their cards in the machine, but he didn't know what they were doing. And they were giving him $20, $10, and he wasn't spending a lot. But when it came time to get the scholarship for school, it looked like he had a gambling habit because it was entry after entry, day after day after day after day.
Hmm.
If you want to know why some of these kids are getting 35% scholarships and 65%, I can tell you why.
Well,
Because
that
that 18-year, huh?
no. I would say that makes perfect sense about a lot of folks that be using their children's name and social security
Yeah,
number and
stop,
to buy
stop,
stuff. Yeah.
stop. Man, I see kids every day coming here. A cell phone bill, a electric bill, all kinds of just, the juniors, the seniors, especially they have the same address and mail coming to it. If Pop like to go to the casino, guess what? It mess around and he get a card to get some $20 for free or to get a meal for free. He putting that card in there left and right. It's hurting the kids. We got to stop it. When you go to the casino, do not put that card in there. Do not let them talk you into getting a free hotel room. You're going to pay for it. Because guess what? When you go to get that commercial loan and they pull that particular report and they see that you like to go to the casino, you like a person that gambles. And they're going to say, well, we're not able to do the loan at this time. In your mind, my credit score is good. I don't have all those inquiries. I don't have all those addresses. I didn't. I'm going to sue. And when you get to court, guess what they're going to pull out? A consumer report that has this information in there. And they're going to say, well, we didn't feel comfortable because a month before July 2021, we noticed that there was 31 days in the month and 20 days out of the month you went to the casino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part
It's
right there.
yeah. It's multiple things that will
Mhm.
show that you are uh, um and we said, the lack of a responsible fiduciary. We have that's a they've been in a position of trust with money,
Mhm.
and that look for that. They look for a reason. Even when you have a conversation with folks, like, yeah, I want to apply for this. Well, you got to have this, and they already start to like a scare tactic, like, oh no, you want to run away. The thing about it, a lot of folks are getting that stuff together, and we are meeting the old criteria, but the criteria is constantly changing, and we got to stay up on it and make sure we know, because again, this is not built for us. We are taking privilege of something that was not designed for us. I watched, we watched a show, and they'll talk about Ralph Lauren, what Ralph
Mhm.
Lauren designed and who it was designed for. A lot of these nice things were not designed for us. But so we are able to achieve those things now if we stay disciplined and seek knowledge and do what we need to do. So you were dropping some more knowledge. We were talking about the credit cards, obtaining the credit. We were talking about those supplementary bureaus, but you were talking about the mortgage and housing and how that when they can see
How that
that.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So what folks should be doing right now?
okay, if you have not paid your mortgage or you haven't paid 3 months out of the 18 months, whatever it is you're behind, contact your mortgage lender, Wells Fargo, whoever you have your mortgage with. Make them give you a loss mitigation specialist. And some of them have already assigned to you a loss mitigation specialist. Right now, no one's calling and no one even knows that name. So that person is sitting there all day long doing absolutely nothing. But come October 10th, when the
Mhm.
phones start ringing, because they sending these people this, you owe us 19,000, you owe us 40,000, that person's gonna be working. And there's so many right now that's facing foreclosure that it's not gonna take much. I mean, why, if you got all these files, would somebody spend all day long trying to help you keep your house? They're just not. So what you do is before that flood of people come in, you go ahead and get all your documents together. They're going to want to see your most recent tax returns. They're going to want to see your bank statements. Baby, trust me. When I say they know how much you got in the bank, they know. They know how many check cashing places you went to in the last 24 hours. They know how many payday loans you got. So if you think, well, I'm not going to tell them I got this money here, they know. Trust me, they know.
Mm.
So, and they can also see your monthly balances. And let me give y'all this little quick jewel. Every month, there's just like a credit card, there's a statement beginning date and a statement ending date, just like a credit card. Everybody needs to write this down. Make sure that whatever your bank statement ending date on all your bank statements, that day out of the month, you had the most money in the bank. The very next day, pay your bills. But that one day out of the month, you need to make sure you got as much money in there. Because when you go to get something and they pull this report, it's going to have it in there. So if it look like that every month you only got $2 a month in the bank, when you go to get something like, oh no, we can't do this. And so what they're going to tell you, oh, there's something that came back. That's what they love to say. Oh, something came back. But when you go to court to sue them because you got the credit scores, you got the income, you got all these things, they're going to pull out your bank statements. And they're going to say, well, we didn't feel comfortable because June of 2020, you had 17. July 2020, you had 19. August of 2020, you had 175. And you're like, well, wait a minute, I rolled $35,000 a month out of that account. That's not what they can see. And so it's very, very important to make sure that by that statement date, you got all the money you can have in there. And then the next day, pay your bills.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds crazy, and people say, they don't do that. Yes, they do. When you give them that bank statement, only thing they really doing is looking at how you spend money. But the end, how much you keeping in there every month, they know that. They already know it. I see a report, y'all. This report has payday loans. It has check cashing. It has commercial loans, how many times you applied, how many you have out currently, account that you had way back in 1989. I've even seen encyclopedias. I'm like, man, those are right.
When the last time I sold an encyclopedia?
Let me tell you, they keep selling these accounts. So when you
Right.
go to these credit repair companies, and like I said, once again, no shade to anyone's business. I don't do that. I respect everyone's business. But I think that even people in that business need to be educated on how it works. There's enough money out here for everybody. I'm not afraid of anyone getting a dollar. And I would pray that nobody's afraid of me getting a dollar. So if somebody that is doing credit, they really need to understand that. Because what happens is, why would somebody give you a $150,000 loan and you go to check cash in there 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Your credit score is high, but when I look at a report and I see, wait a minute, You got 4 checks out right now to check into cash and all of these other people. That doesn't even make sense. They don't care about that credit score. They know that if you're willing to take a $300 check and pay $1,000 for it, then you're not educated about credit, even though you have the score. So stop flashing your credit scores to me, please, and telling me what your credit score is. I don't care. I could care 100% less. And I think that because I'm in this business, people think they can impress me. I'm like, if you really understood credit, you would never flash your credit score. So let's get that credit worthiness. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about you going in the bank and looking good. I'm concerned about them trying to embarrass you because they love to do it. They get joy in telling you we can't do it. But remember, they're protected because you told them that they could pull all this stuff on you. You authorized them. And I'm going to give y'all a real good nugget. The track star, what's her name? Shakir, what's her name, Matt?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Shakari Richardson.
Okay. Let me tell you something about her. She was busted probably 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Right.
Let me tell you why. Yes. When your kids and everybody on this live that have kids, pay attention to what you're signing for them. When you're authorizing for them to do a physical, okay? When you're authorizing them for all these things, pay attention to the wording. They are putting that physical in a consumer report. So what happens is, let's say she sprung her ankle 4 years ago, right? She sprung her ankle. She called, Mama, I'm at the doctor right now. The coach took me, I sprung my ankle. Okay, they do blood work. She doesn't think anything about it because no one ever says anything to her, right? But then all of a sudden she becomes a big time Olympic star.
Right.
She tested positive 4 years ago. They already knew she liked to smoke weed.
Just held the information.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's sitting right there.
Yeah.
And
It's
I can't go into detail on this live.
we need listen, if anybody, let me see by a show of hands, if you think you've heard enough from this podcast that you want to be a part of the Zoom workshop we got this Sunday. Let me see a comment. Put a comment, drop a couple comments. We got a lot of information. This is just basically the tip of the iceberg. It's a lot of information that we need to know. You need to constantly have your mind on your money, because if your mind is not on your money, then somebody else's mind is on your money, and they're trying to figure out how to get it. And for a lot of people know, if you're starting to do things and getting your credit and the credit worthiness where it needs to be, they start to reach out to you. They're sending you stuff in the mail all the time, trying to tell you pre-approved text message, and they keep offering you this quick money. They're like, oh, yeah, I could use that. Right. That's what they want you to do. Because if they didn't think you were worthy of it or would paid your bills, they wouldn't offer you that amount of money. So if you are out there right now, drop something in the comment section. Let me know if you are interested in participating in the workshop we're going to do this Sunday. It's going to be very, very in depth. We're going to be breaking things down, and this is going to be some life-changing information that we're going to be doing. It's not enough info tonight. There's so much more. So everyone need to join the Zoom. Yes, Miss Coretta, that is correct. There is a ton of information, and I'm telling you, the stuff that Michelle talks about, and if I haven't walked it, I know people that have. And then for the people that walked it after I've learned it, I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, listen, this is what's going to happen. This, and then it happens. And then I'm telling them, like, listen, we have to be ready. You always got to stay ready and evolve. Yes, ma'am.
Mac, when I said I was just having a conversation earlier today about being ready. When I talk about these foreclosures, unfortunately, there's going to be people who don't get on the live, who don't know to go ahead and get in contact with their loss mitigation specialists, who are going to lose their homes, right? But what's going to happen, and I'm going to say this in a circular way, I guess, because I am a licensed real estate agent. I got to put that out there. There's going to be a ton of properties that are going to foreclose. I'm trying to save people from going into foreclosure, but there is going to be a ton of properties that's going to go into foreclosure. And when that happens, because the market changes, there will be a market change.
Yep.
And that's all I would say. Because, like I said, people, I don't want to see anybody lose their license, but people love to see. I've been licensed. I can legally say I've been licensed 20 years. I got licensed April of 2001. There's a lot of people who say they've been licensed 20 years, but they haven't. I can legally say that. But I know how people are. So I won't tell the nicks and crannies to that. But I think everybody on this live can figure out what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you are prepared, you can really, truly
I say
make,
what you can't say. Let me say
yeah.
what you can't say. All right. So basically, what I'm saying is,
For those who are in the position now where you're working on getting your credit together and getting your history together, your payments, your debt to income, income, all that stuff, clearing up all your back office stuff. We talk about having multiple streams of income and a diversified portfolio when it comes to investments. And one of the major investment that's been going around for hundreds of years is real estate. And for those who are going to be in the right position next year, you're going to be able to probably get your hands on some pretty good things if you have your financial house in order next year, because of these foreclosures and things that are going to happen at the end of this year and starting beginning of next year. I know other folks are getting ready now for. I'm telling you, the tax lien auction is next is Monday after next. Is it next Monday? It's Monday. It's
It's
Monday,
Monday.
right?
It's Monday.
Yeah. So I'm just telling folks, listen, it's one of those things where it said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That means you should always keep a low DTI as much as possible.
And tell
Keep
people
low
what DTI
debt,
stands for. Okay, go ahead.
debt to income ratio, right?
Yeah.
And keep low balances on your credit card. If you married, one of you guys need to keep your credit in a good standing where one of you guys can, one of them is taking the risk this year, the other one take the risk in the next 2 years. Why? Because you only have two hard inquiries within a 24-month span. We're going to go more in depth into this information, but it's a formula, it's a practice. I talk about a lot under the umbrella of the Epps Institute and Mental Health Minute about life coaching. I talk about diet modification and lifestyle changes. You're going to have to do some diet modifications for the food and everything else you do, and lifestyle changes to get to some of the places you're trying to get to. You can't do that. You can't go out on the weekend, and if you had a good check and you made an extra $200 that weekend, you go eat an $89 meal and talking about I'm gonna be ready for next year. You can't do that. You need to be able to have the resources where you can put hands on it, or you using the resources to be able to lower your debt so that you can have a greater credit increase. When I say credit worthiness, that means you're cleaning up all your stuff. You got to make sure all your stuff is in order. Make sure people have done what they're supposed to do. We're going to go really in depth. Now, see, I was trying to get somebody to respond that have not participated in the workshop because there is a fee for the workshop. And I was going to cover someone's entry to the workshop because I'm telling you, we are living proof. We know other folks that have participated, that have been out there, and that's that person's business to tell. But I'm telling you, we have benefited from the knowledge of Michelle. We have put together a dream team of folks that educate you about the purchasing property, to investing in Roth IRAs, to insurance, to filing bankruptcy. We have a team of folks that we work with when we do these workshops, even black business, workshops development. And so we're trying to help our people. We're trying to help people understand the importance of this knowledge, because what we do now will determine our grandchildren's lifestyle. It will help determine it. If we make good decisions now, so they don't have to start from scratch, that means the grandchildren should be able to take it to a whole nother level, along with the education. We see people with money and their children have no work ethic and they have no understanding and respect for money. They just spend it and expect it to fall out the sky. and they end up, very self-entitled, a lot of times getting in trouble with the law because they have no respect for and discipline for authority, disciplining themselves, and they end up burning through money. And they came from as they say, folk came from that good family that had those resources. It takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of structure, it takes a lot of hard work to lay that foundation. But teaching and educating is going to be one of the great things. So I
And
am joining, even though I know too much. Coretta is going to be a part.
let me tell you,
Coretta says she's going to get in and make sure that she's going to be a part of this. So we're going to go back and we're going to drop the information for the workshop. I'm going to post it on my page after we end the podcast. So be looking out for the flyer with the information on it. I'm going to post it from my personal page, and I'm going to post it to Nightcap Knowledge, and we're going to put it back in the comments. But I guess nobody wants to join. Miss Coretta's been, we know Miss Delaney knows. So, hey, we tried. Listen, I had a free slot I was trying to give somebody, Michelle, I guess. And this is why I say this is the point of sharing it with other folks. It might not apply to you. And the thing about it is, it might be some stuff that you don't know. You know of some stuff, but of course, we're not telling you everything that's a part of the workshop right now on this. We're not going to do that. So, Michelle, you want to leave them? We got 3 more minutes before we end. You got
yeah,
anything you want to leave folks with?
I want to leave people with this. Get in contact. If you know someone, coworker, friend, or whatever that has not paid mortgages, have them tomorrow morning get in contact with the loss mitigation specialist. Give them this list. They need their W-2s, their bank statements, their check stubs. Go ahead and get the full file together for the loss mitigation. Do a hardship. The reason why I was not able to pay is because, I was sick or my husband was sick. I was without work. My job let me go. Whatever it is, do that hardship letter and send everything over this week. Send it via UPS or whatever. Get it in quick. The sooner you get it in, the sooner I can review it, the sooner you're not competing against one person doing 10,000 files.
Right. Now, why is everybody right now Black August? Right, we're talking about Black business. We're talking about money. We talked about Black Wall Street. Understanding what's coming up down the pipeline. End of the year. If you think about buying a new car, you need to wait to the end of the year. We're going to tell you why on the workshop. Why we need to keep talking about loans. Why we keep talking about it? Well, if you got student loans, they've extended that to January 2022. So you need to put yourself in a position where you can start handling those student loans. Hopefully, if you are able, you still been paying towards. We're going to talk about that too, right? Credit cards. What's happening right now? We're talking about commercial loans. What's happening right now? And what we need to be doing for next year. Residential property. It's a lot we're going to cover on this workshop on Sunday. Credit worthiness. We're going to talk about the bureaus themselves that hold this information. Now, this only affect you, but we talk about being able to go in and go into your profession, being able to go and do an interview, not just the job. Sometimes it's even to get into school, because I talk about that too. How a lot of places are moving to these other credit bureaus or what they call consumer reports, which stops you from getting certain positions and not being able to get a job. People say, "Oh man, I don't even know about that stuff, man. My credit's straight." Yeah, you're thinking about just the credit itself, and you want to know why you've been on the job 15 years and somebody come out of college and come in and they end up being your supervisor, and you trying to figure out why. Because there's things when you interview they're going to use against you to deny you for that position. This is deeper than you think. These are going to be things that you do not know, that we're trying to make sure that the average person know about, that affects you on a day-to-day basis. And you have no idea that they're using this information. We just told you that they've been able to track your, going to the casino when you use that card. Majority of people didn't even know that. I know I didn't know it. So because you just say, "Hey man, I get this VIP and I get $5 extra." We're just trying to help folks. But listen, want to make sure we shout out some of the best water you ever had. The Aspira Pura right here. Make sure you go to Amazon. This is a Black-owned alkaline water business. It's on Amazon. Make sure you go and order. We're going to be doing a big health fair on October 2nd and 3rd. We're going to actually have some of this water we're going to be able to give out and get to people. And as always, Mississippi Move, We are moving Mississippi forward, all gas, no brakes. So that's what we're trying to get folks to understand when it comes to social justice, voter education, helping the community, civic engagement, financial literacy, whatever it is. We are trying to move Mississippi forward, all gas, no brakes. We can't stop. We got to keep going. So hope you enjoyed the show tonight.
You can check out, it's always on the Nightcap Knowledge page on Facebook, also on YouTube. And I'm going to post the information about this Sunday's workshop. If you're serious about that, you can inbox me if you didn't get a chance to catch it. Michelle is on Facebook also, but we're going to be filling up. We're only going to do a certain amount of people. And once we get to our number, we're looking at around about 20 people for this workshop. We already have people that have signed up. So if you do not make it, you miss out. We want you to be prepared. All right.
All right. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate y'all. And y'all have a good night.